everyone, Blue Star Saber here with,
Hey guys, Mangareader again.
yes, for the second day in a row, we are discussing My Hero Academia. This time, chapters 418 to 420. I was behind everything and reinforcements Endgame style, as I call it. Judging by the title, you can probably guess what we're going to be talking about. But yes, this chapter pretty much follows up after Midoriya's fighting with Shigaraki, sacrificing each of his let's see quirks inside all for one. Let's see with the the souls of the quirks seemingly destroying themselves, so Midoriya can break in and reach Shigaraki's mind, learn his past, and try and save him if he can. During which they fell one by one. First was the second, then the sixth, and then it came to all the others besides Shigaraki's own grandmother, who witnessed the damage her decision did on Shigaraki's childhood, and had a sort of personal second chance of stopping her son and apologizing, while Midoriya is about to witness Shigaraki's first activation of his quirk. That is pretty much the recap last time, unless I've forgotten anything. I know, Margarita, you think I forgot anything?
What's that? Forgot? Not that I know of, but I
Yeah,
mean maybe we'll forget or we'll remember as it goes on.
yeah. But yeah, we did those were the last four chapters, and now we just got these last three chapters. Will we? It's as far as I can recall, we enjoy for the most part we enjoyed some of the bits of them, but we do feel like, from what I recall, with some of the pacing with some of the chapters, as well as the method of the fight that's being taken place.
Yeah.
Will these chapters be better, or will they go down in a spiral?
Well, we'll see.
Anyway, that's enough of a summary. Time for and let's see, recap of what we all thought. Time for the actual chapters.
Time for us to
Chapter. So gone.
I said time for us to discuss.
Yes. Chapter 418. Meek Spirit. We see Midoriya, middle school Midoriya, witnessing young Tomo Shigaraki hugging his dog, declaring how he hates everyone. Midoriya realized that this is the same feeling he sensed back in Gunga, realizing what Shigaraki is about to do, but he's too late to stop the dog from being disintegrated, as he calls out the dog's name, with Midoriya realizing that this must be the first time Shigaraki ever activated his quirk. And then Midoriya sees that his sister has come out, and he realizes what's about to happen and knows that what's going to happen next, and as this is the core of it all, as we see Shigaraki's sister cry out in horror like she did in the flashback as Shigaraki tries to go to her, but Midoriya, now in his kid form, stops the Shigaraki before he can just kill his sister. Let's see, with Midoriya realizing that given the fact saying he's got to end this now and realize while he's in the realm of physical memories, if you will, he's got to try and stop him now and keep remembering those hands. As Shigaraki starts to ask Midoriya why, and thinks how everything has been led up to try and smash against him. The loss of, I believe, his predecessors. Let's see, saying that the last piece that will hit him will be him. With Midoriya responding that because he saw him crying. With Shigaraki trying to deny this, saying that he chose this path. He chose to kill his family, his house, everything, and wondering what would be the point of the hands he bears. Saying who would ever validate his existence, given the fact that this is the way he is. And with Midoriya realizing that he's at his most delicate and malleable, I think, depending on from what I'm reading from the first translation. And he's saying that as he realizes he's getting rejected, but he's not going to let go. Let's see, as he realized that on one hand, the power of the hatred in his hands, the hatred in his hands is the powerful hatred and catharsis that Shigaraki has, but it's also being weighed against the grief and confusion. And at this point, let's see, Shigaraki or Tenko is wavering on the edge at this point with like this encounter with Midoriya, I guess, and the skirmish they're having. With Shigaraki trying to get Midoriya's hands off him as he's trying to remember when no one would help him. With Midoriya remembering like the conversation he had with the previous users about maybe there's no other way to, saying how there might be no other way to stop him but kill him. With Midoriya shouting, saying how others had reached out. With let's see, Shigaraki, I think, saying this massive rush, the hatred, it's cracking, it's happening. As Midoriya continues about saying how others had reached his sense, saying that they took his hand and gave him peace, and says that's why he's here. As Midoriya is able to stop the cracking, but his arms seem to be completely cracked as Tomura Shigaraki lets go and goes to his knees as the two sort of headbutt each other. And then we cut to a school parade ground where Tomura is with a bunch of what appears to be his old school friends. Apparently their names are Mikun and Tomo, saying that he should be All Might. But Shigaraki smiling at first, but then turns away and looks, nah, saying that because he's the villain, and he fights in the name of evil to destroy, as he starts to sort of regenerate back into his adult self, as we see behind him. Let's see, the League of Villains, the people that Shigaraki cared the most, Toga, Twice, Spinner, Darby, and Mr. Compress. Saying how whatever Midoriya says, it doesn't matter if he stamps out his hatred, and even if he winds up hollow. As we cut to a double page spread saying the villains need a hero of their own, as we see what appears to be two different people. One seems to be a businessman with a suitcase walking in the street saying, "Kill that kid." Another seems to be some internet dude, let's see, in his like basement, if you will, room, saying, "Crush this rotten world, destroy it all, Tomura Shigaraki," showing that there are some supporters of Shigaraki out there. As we then see the battlefield where all of Tomura Shigaraki's hands are starting to crumble away as the police notice that, but they also can't notice Midoriya. And just as that's happening, we suddenly see a bit of a fuzzy flashback kind of thing where we see Mr. Shimura, Tomura's dad, as someone's calling out to him, with him responding like, "You're with the Koga construction, right?" Which confuses Shigaraki because he's wondering what the heck is this. Then let's see, you hear a bit more of their conversation about the Halsey oil embargo, and going a little conversation. Oh, it's getting worse every year, and can see him going like, "Can I recommend a decent doctor?" But he's going like, "Thanks, but really not worth the trouble." But anyway, then we get to like more memories with Tomura asking, "Whose memory is this?" He's going like, "Oh, sure, the little guy's a handful." We're probably referring to his son. With like the person asking, "How about his quirk?" He's going like, "No, nothing yet." So it's shit with him going like, "I don't get it." And Midoriya realized that this is not Tomura or Tenko's memories. And he's wondering, as they're both probably wondering, who the hell is this? As you see a hand grabbing a glass of wine. And then suddenly pop out of, let's see, underground is the face of All For One. Let's see, as he's about to open his mouth and consume Tomura Shigaraki with Midoriya on top of his face, with him just going like, "Such a foolish vessel. Losing a battle of wills to some kid. This is absolute nobody." Let's see, starving for strength, yet inevitably weak. Tengo Shimura, you pathetic imbecile. Not once in your pitiful life has any choice been your own. As you see the All For One figure rise up from the ground as Midoriya starts to fall, ending the chapter. So, Mangareader, thoughts?
Well, there's quite a bit to digest in this. The first part's kind of a little wordy, I guess. I don't know. Still kind of crazy that I don't know. It's all the stuff we obviously knew about. I don't know how to put this into words, man. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know what caused Deku to go younger in that sense. I don't know if it's his memory, if it's. He mentioned something about having to remember his hands being there, or whatever, has to visualize or something since he's physically there in this body or whatnot.
If I had to guess, it's trying to. If I have to guess, it's probably Midoriya trying to visualize himself
Yeah,
as a young boy trying to reach out and help his hand to Tomo
help.
Shigaraki.
Yeah,
That is probably
somewhere.
my guess on the situation.
Right. Yeah, he finally learned the truth as to why Shigaraki is the way that he is.
Yeah, I do
Uh,
like it. I do like how he reacts, and let's see, when he sees like Tomura's like a backstory and seeing like, oh, this is the first time this quirk activated, and I do like how he immediately guessed that what's about to happen next, particularly once he fails to stop the dog from being killed,
right,
and then it's about to go to his sister.
right. But so yeah, then we just get Deku essentially talking to him like Naruto, and then we see that somehow it works, and then
Yeah. Look, I will admit, I did find it at the very least a bit more engaging than the Naruto and Obito one, where I think Naruto was kind of forcing Obito. But
that's
that's
true. Maybe I don't know.
let's see.
But then we get this other weird memory bit or some crap.
Yeah,
Or
we'll get to that in a bit because I want to talk about some of the other things first. But yeah, but I do like how Midoriya is trying to reason that since all these people that have pushed forward for him to do the final hit, and he tells Shigaraki that because he saw him crying, he wants to give him a chance and sort of give him a help if he will just accept it. But I do like how Shigaraki's trying to deny this and thinking like, I chose this path. It's like this is who I am. I like how
right,
he emphasizes the bonds of his like friends in the League of Villains, if you will, or like the bonds that he cared about.
yeah,
And I even like the bit where he talks about how there are those that want him to be the villain and destroy, as we see just a few minority of people, arguably some dude down in the dumps with his work life, another guy that seems to be stuck at home. But at the very
yeah,
least, you can see that he has supporters, and to an extent, he seems to want to support them in some way, at least if it means like in the path of villainy. All that stuff is good, but then of course then comes the memories. But at the same time, because you do see him wavering because of the whole breaking down the fingers in the battlefield. But then, of course, you
yeah.
get the bit at the end with the added memories, and then things get concerning, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, I was saying this yesterday, and it was mainly because I already read and saw spoilers ahead of that point anyway, as it was.
Yeah,
But it's like
for the record,
this
this is
guy
probably
will not go away.
yeah, and for the record, people, this was probably us talking a bit off screen, but yeah, but
Was it? I thought I might have mentioned it a little mid screen, but maybe it was off screen.
I remember we did
Regardless,
it off screen. I'm not sure if we did it on screen. To be fair,
I think the only thing I said is that maybe it was off screen because I was telling you about like how I thought the fight with Bakugo and Prime All for One or whatever you want to
we talked about.
Child All for
I
One.
believe
Regardless, yeah,
we did talk about that in the beginning of the chapter.
I said, it's a little anticlimactic because it's supposed to be some big guy, and the way that they technically beat him was through the fact that he was deteriorating.
Yeah, yeah,
But
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
so here was the plan all along. I guess he wasn't like dead. I mean, we
yeah,
knew he was in the subconscious, but he
yeah.
just won't go away.
That is true. And to be fair, I did have a feeling that at some point, well, granted, I wasn't sure. Granted, I think when I was reviewing some of the chapters, I wasn't sure if he was gone for good or if he could come back. But I always did have a feeling at some point that when if Midoriya is going to try and save Tomo Shigaraki, he's going to try and save him from being possessed by All for One, and then some sort of self-sacrifice. That was my best guess on how that happened. So, in that regards, I am not surprised that All for One is taking over Tomo Shigaraki after he's being defeated or his will has been weakened, if you will. Granted, I
Yeah.
expect a bit more punching and beating, but before that happened. But so I'm not surprised about that. But what concerns me is this flashback where apparently it seems like All for One knew Tomo Shigaraki's father,
Yeah.
and you see discussing all kinds of things. But and it's there, and then he goes about how pathetic you weak vessel, which I'm not surprised at that bit. But the problem I'm having is about at the end where he says, "Not once in your pitiful life has any choice been your own."
Well,
Which,
the only reason that makes sense is because if he's been since he's been around since the childhood days somehow, yeah, he's basically instilled everything from the get go.
yeah. And to be honest, I'm not against the idea of All for One being possessing Shigaraki for the final bit of the battle. I kind of expected it,
Uh
but
huh.
the thing that concerns me
Is the
is,
fact that it gives Tomura a get out of jail free card? Is that the
well,
concern? Because that was the concern for all for life.
well,
Rest his soul.
we have no idea what happened to
I
Four.
know. I'm just saying, rest his soul, because we have no idea what happened to
Yeah,
him. He might just like have ghost. He might. He just ghosts us. That's all. He just ghosts us.
that was just too busy.
Well, then, what's your concern?
My biggest concern is that, let's see, with like, since you had Shigaraki going like, I chose this path. It's like with like All for One being like, oh, I've controlled everything in your life. It's like it kind of robs like the sort of, let's see, character growth and journey we've seen of Shigaraki. I feel like it just robs everything of it.
I was gonna say, I don't know if well, growth is a kind of a too good of a term for him. I mean, yeah, he got more convicted on his convictions, but nothing he said changed as to how he wanted to do things. He always wanted to destroy the world, essentially, from the ground up, destroy the hero society. And then all he really did was just back it up with essentially power. Basically, all he did was kind of align it with how other villains wanted to kind of make it their own mission of sorts, I guess.
I guess that is technically true, but I guess it's just like
Regardless, well, yeah, whatever. I can't really describe. It's kind of like what God
take your
we
time.
did. What for the last time For Life talked was what during the the attack on the paranormal or whatever.
I think it was
That was like literally the last discussion we had at all.
you mean the Meta Liberation Army arc?
Meta liberation. I think that was the last time we ever talked to him at all.
Well, I think it's the last time he was on a My Hero Academia stream podcast.
That's true too, possibly. Regardless, I think he said that I believe what he said was that Shigaraki's whole dream or whatever goal in life never really changed. It was just things around him that kind of changed, basically, his surroundings, so to speak. I could have swore that was what we had discussed during that, but it's been like that was like three years max, maybe 2 years ago. No, it had to be even way later than that. That had to be before 2020. It might have been 2019, actually. That might have been 5 years ago. Holy crap.
Let's see, Lucky Chi Meta Liberation Army. Let's see if I can get that. Let's see. Yeah, it was 3 years ago.
Oh, it was 3? Damn, I thought it was before COVID, but I guess it was after. All right, well, then what the hell has For Life been doing?
Well, it could have been. It could be likely. It could have been before COVID, but it could have been likely that it took Lucky Chi just about 3 years ago to finally post it and edit it and all that.
Oh, yeah, okay, that would, yeah, that's possible too. It took Chi that long to finally edit it.
Yeah,
I wonder if he puts like dates in like the comments. Probably not.
I don't think so. To be honest, there's still a
Probably,
few
yeah.
podcasts that I remember doing with him that
From
he's
you.
still yet to publish.
Did he ever publish the Pokemon one? I don't think he did.
I think he lost the data for that one.
That bastard! We did the whole thing.
Yeah, it took us 4 hours.
We did all that for nothing. Why did he do this to us? And I hate to do this on your stream right now, but damn. Regardless, so I think I came to the conclusion that Shigaraki's dream kind of evolved, but not in the sense that where it got better. It just kind of became more firm, like more concrete. That this is how he wants to go about things. It hasn't really changed from the first time he discussed it with Stain. Rather, his convictions just became stronger. Is the best way I can put that. But really, to me, I thought the concern would be that, oh well, now that it's been proven, or now that it's apparently that one for all, or all for one. Why do A F O, yeah, AFO, all for one,
Yeah,
one for all. Yeah, AFO. I'm just gonna call him AFO from now.
Okay.
AFO has essentially plastered that Shigaraki had nothing to. I mean, he still did all those actions, but it was. It
was all planned by him.
Yeah. Essentially, he set him off on this path to always be a villain. Never gave him the opportunity to pick and choose whether he was going to be a hero or not.
Yeah, which I feel, like I said, kind of robs him of all of all the choices he made. Really,
right?
It's like makes it like it kind of makes it a bit more cliche. And it's like you had this more I guess you could say it makes it more black and white when there's a bit more morally grey. I say with the way how due to the hero society, how hero society was, and how it ended up treating him. It led him onto this path, but now it's like it was all cultivated by All For Ones who would just hate it in generally, rather than his own choices.
Right.
In many ways, because it's like it's kind of like the set, because it's like, as we can tell, okay, granted, Darby, Toga, Spinner, I guess Spinner, and even I guess Mr. Compress, I guess, all like the members of the League of Villains. they're all, let's see, made their choices based on like how, let's see, society, quirk society, and hero society has affected them, and that
Deemed
led
for
them
them, yeah.
yeah, led them to be the villains they were. Okay, granted, yes, you had All for One reviving Darby, but other than that, it was still his own choice
Yeah.
to choose his revenge against Endeavor and his family after witnessing Endeavor abandon him and just being.
Well, I think what? I think he never really got to witness that Endeavor actually cared for him.
Yeah.
But that's kind of weird when you think about it. It's like, why did he show concern for Dabi, yet never seemed to be too concerned about Shoto, how he treated him? I know, I ultimately know that it was because Shoto had the ability to control the hot and cold, not nonsense or whatnot. But it just seemed like he put, whatever. I don't really care. I think we discussed it. Maybe I had a different opinion back then, but hearing it now, it's like, well, no, it's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
whatever.
But yeah, it's like Darby just pretty much saw his father hadn't changed at all and probably didn't give a damn about him, so he vowed revenge. So it's like
Yeah.
no made the choices in the end, but now here with Shigaraki, it seems to be all robbed it in a sense. Shigaraki was supposed to be like the next big villain, if you will, but now it seems like oh no, it's just a bland generic puppet.
Another puppet.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically all for AFO was essentially the master behind the strings because Toga wasn't really evil. It was just her quirk and it's just how she showed yada yada and society felt like that was not a heroic quirk or whatever,
Not normal, I guess.
not normal. I still don't necessarily know. I mean, I get that it was said in at different points, but we never really were shown ever as to what the whole discrimination against like the animal type quirks were. I don't remember what they're called, Prometheans or something, or maybe that's One Piece. But just the whole like the spinner thing being because he was animal, like people were like afraid of him or some shit like that.
Yeah, due to being a sort of amphibian meta type human, you receive
Yeah.
praise for not looking human.
Well, yeah, but that was for all of them, and there was apparently like I wouldn't say a war about it, but there was like a time period where that was a major thing before the start of the manga. And we never really touched upon it, so we got bits and pieces. And even now, there's still some crap, apparently, because I think that was what Anima was suffering from a little bit.
It was I believe Tentacore, Shoji, the one with the
Yeah, well, Soji and the other guy, yeah,
yeah,
they're
no,
both.
Anima and Tokoyami, due to living in the city, never didn't really
Like
experience that much.
had the experience like that, but it still kind of goes on the outskirts, like the outer town bank. Yeah,
Yeah, kind of like how you have in I guess you could say the suburbs being more
yeah.
diverse and progressive in that regards, and rural being more.
Well, you grow up with more people, so then you kind of just grow used to it.
Yeah.
Where and like in the more open space areas, you kind of like get accustomed to who your uh essentially who your neighbors are. So if other outside forces come in, you're a little more weary of to what people you're not accustomed to. It's just human nature on that one. But yeah, they never really. That was always one of the comments for about My Hero about that specific topic. We never really got like to see it in fruition. We just got bits and pieces as to what is going on essentially behind the scenes. So it would have been cool if Koei would have had maybe did a little more backstory type stuff instead of since now this is like the final
Yeah, there could be an entire
finale arc or whatever. Yeah,
there could be a stream talking about the whole Spinner subplot, but for now
it's not just Spinner subplot. It's just the whole thing in general involving.
The whole meta thing in general.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But I'm just saying that, there's nothing about that. But okay, back on topic then. Fine.
Sorry, do you want to keep going?
No, it's cool. I mean, it's not your fault. I was rambling there. I think really Twice was the only one that didn't really have like a true reason for villainy. I don't remember what Twice's ultimately was.
I
think he just went crazy from from how his quirk worked originally.
I think he did have a bit of mistreated and had like a dead end job until he got fired from it. I think that was one aspect of his flashback, but I'd have to reread the Meta Liberation arc again for that.
Whatever. Regardless, all the villains have like certain things that make them technically not true villains, whatever. It's like you said. Mm-hmm. So anyway, Shigaraki wanting to be a hero to them is essentially same well, flip side of the same coin.
Yep.
Heroes always want to help heroes. Villains kind of want to be the heroes to villains. Heroes want to be the heroes to heroes and civilians. Never-ending cycle. Although in this universe, it's kind of hard to imagine how villains would ultimately come to existence other than the fact that, you're not allowed to use your quirk. Yada yada. Unless you're a hero. But you have to be a licensed hero. Full-time job, baby. Full-time job. So ultimately, the chapter itself kind of started on pace a little bit. It made you maybe think that things weren't going to go the way that they did, and then the ending, while maybe predictable in the long term, kind of was shocking when it happened.
Yeah. I would probably say, on one hand, I was fine with how it go, but at the end, it got me concerned. So, yeah. So
good for you.
Yeah. Let's see. So, I think I was around like a 7, but now I'm wondering if I should, let's see, with that ending, I should give it a 6, because it's like the direction this is going.
Yeah. I'm going to be a little more generous on this one. I'm going to probably say 7.5, maybe 8 at best. On the higher scale. The only reason is whether I like All for One or All for One or not. I mean, it is consistent within this story. We knew he was in that subconscious. We had to figure out how Shigaraki got that random quirk out of nowhere somehow.
We haven't gotten to that bit yet. Let's see, Margarita.
I'm just saying that it showed it right there. He kind of told us. He's essentially saying, yeah. But fine, I know. I'm technically skipping ahead in that regard. But we don't know how he activated it or how he did anything to it. We just know that he had some involvement in it.
All right.
Hey, don't talk to me like I spoil things. I only did that like a couple times.
Anyway, it's time for the next chapter.
Okay, fine. We'll move on to the next chapter.
Sorry, what do you want to? What is there anything else you need to say?
Not really.
Okay.
I was just being. I'm just lying.
Anyway, chapter 419, design. But before that, I believe we have a double-colored spread of what appears to be a bunch of people from Class 1A, along with Hawks, Endeavor, Darby, in the sky riding dragons. And I'm not sure, but given the numbers on their jacket, I'm wondering, is this a popularity poll?
I think this was, yeah.
So yeah, from what I can tell, well, I can't really see a number on Bakugo, but probably not.
He got one because he doesn't have a number. The finger he's holding up is number
Yeah,
one.
yeah, no surprise there. Midoriya 2, no surprise there. Shoto number 3, no surprise there. What do we have? And number
Ida's
4,
8. Yeah, Hawks is 5.
it's Darby's 4. Let's see, Hawks. Yeah, you're right. 5. 6 is Endeavor. Let's see. 7 is who's 7? Oh yeah,
Kurama.
Red Riot.
Yeah.
8 is Ida. 9 is Ochaku, and 10 is Tentacoil.
Soji.
Yeah, Soji.
Which is probably the highest he's placed in a while, but that was thanks to his chapter.
I think it's the first time he's been in the top 10. I think.
Could be too. I mean, his chapter went pretty hard, man.
Yeah, it seems like it was enough to get Bitsy fans in Japan at least to vote him as in the top 10.
Has Dabi always been in the top 10 section?
As far as I can recall, I don't think so. Oh, let
The
me
fact
see.
he made it to 4, kind of, yeah.
Derby, My Hero Academia. I'm gonna just quickly.
This might be the first time All Might didn't end up making the top 10.
Yeah, I don't think I see. Yeah, I think that might be a case. Uraraka, I think, is back in the top 10. Okay. Here's Derby's rankings in the previous polls: 28th in the second popularity poll, 34th in the third popularity poll, 28th in the fourth popularity poll, 19th in the fifth popularity poll, 22nd in the sixth popularity poll,
Okay,
and
so this is essentially, yeah.
the 16th in the seventh popularity poll. So I think this is 8th. And also 11th in the fifth US popularity poll.
Uh,
So, yeah.
Recency bias, then, essentially.
Yeah, arguably, probably that. So, yeah. Well, at the very least, I'd probably say it's nice to have Uraraka come back into the top popularity spot when I think one of the last ones, she wasn't in the top 10. In fact, I don't think any female character's been in the top 10.
She's the only one that typically got in, so yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
unless Earjack got in once.
But if I recall, that was the same one in which you had that character from the third movie in the popularity poll.
That's true, too.
But yeah, but this is probably arguably the last popularity poll in the series, and once again, Bakugo remains number 1.
Yeah, if there's one more poll, it would be towards the very end, and Bakugo probably would still be in first, unless Deku does something so insanely amazing that everyone votes for him.
Yeah, but it's just
But
like
that didn't even happen in Naruto. Sasuke always stayed like number 1.
actually Sasuke wasn't number 1 in a few of them.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about towards the end. I think Sasuke stayed number 1.
Okay, Naruto popular. Oh, let me just check Naruto popularity poll. I don't need those. No, I keep getting the 15th announcements. Hold on. Wiki. Oh yeah, Naruto character popularity polls. The first one, Kakashi was in first place, followed by Naruto, then Sasuke. Second one, Naruto was in first place, followed by Kakashi and Iruka, with Sasuke in number 4. And then the third one was Kakashi in first place, followed by Naruto and Iruka and Sasuke again. Fourth popularity poll, you had Naruto, Kakashi, Sasuke, and Shikamaru. And hold on, that's Jutsu. In the fifth popularity poll, that is the first time Sasuke ever overtook Naruto, with him coming in second and Kakashi third. And in the sixth popularity poll, also Sasuke in first place, with Kakashi in second, and Dedra ended up in third, and Naruto for the first time ever in fourth place. And then after a very long hiatus, the seventh and last popularity poll, you had Naruto in first place, Sasuke in second, Kakashi in third.
Okay, so yeah, maybe Deku has a chance if they do one more poll.
Possibly, yeah. Or if like My Hero ever does a international popularity poll.
I thought yeah.
I mean, will it do one? I'm not entirely sure, but at the very least, who knows? It could be that Midoriya might have more fans, let's see, overseas internationally than I guess domestically. That will allow him to be like voted first place.
The Rasengan always the Rasengan always took the highest for the Jutsu poll.
Oh yeah, it did. In a worldwide popularity poll, Shadow Clone came first place.
I mean, that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, probably time to get on to the actual chapter.
Yeah, sure, fine. Start the design, man.
Anyway, we follow up from the last bit where we see the giant All for One emerging from the rubble and Midoriya falling down with his arms. We see with going like him declaring Midoriya, "How dare he destroy my one for all, my Yoshi?" Yet he says Tenko's spiritual defeat here in his subconscious realm has allowed my own conscience to claw back. Calling Shimaraki foolish, saying such a pure Cretus superego, a soft Simpson unable to relinquish his continuous life, benefiting from his own guidance, and yet, despite all that, he amounts to nothing. With you see Shigaraki starting to crumble away, with him not understanding what All for One is saying, as All for One explains, not a single one of his choices has been his own. But Shigaraki saying that I did make all those decisions. With him reveal with you see All for One sort of merging from Ritzy properly merging in the mind, saying, "Yes, I had to make you think that, else your strength would, been stunted." So saying it was the crucial twist of your illusions of free will. Talking about the previous time when he fought against the fifth user Django and the sixth user N Tukaya, saying his encounters with them made him realize that Ritzy trying to steal back All for One would require strength that was even greater than the wielder's own. And talked about how All Might had him on the defense. He had to, for a soul, he'd still try to conduct a search to find a soul that would someday allow him to break that spiritual fortitude. So pretty much saying he went on a quest to find the one that had the most powerful emotions to born from some sort of suppression and that primal urge. So he sought for someone with such hatred to grow. And then we cut to a little flashback where it seems to either be the father talking or All for One talking to Shinra's father, saying, "What there's to think about. These days, heroes never show up and are up to offer aid, and when they actually needed." With him saying, "Children need siblings because nobody else will help them out." So that might be actually All for One saying that. Now I'm realizing that. With this surprising Shigaraki, as All for One tells him that, given the fact that his father's daughter was already too far along, and he probably matured a bit, so he decided that. So he just saying that in order to make sure he wasn't overstepped any boundaries, nudged a few things from the shadows. So implying within, he sort of implied that he convinced Oma's father to have another child, which was him, and removed his unknown quirk factor let's see, that was passed down by his parents when he stole it from them as a baby when he apparently met them, and encouraged his father to be strict in the way he is, and told some the kids that Tomura used to befriend some things to aspire to, and then arguably meeting Tomura when he was younger, saying, "Oh, hello, you must be Shimura's son." Doing a scenario where he would grab his hand and walk by traffic. And apparently revealed he bided his time to give him a new quirk, which was apparently sourced from a quirk that was one of the good doctor's facilities. And we see it appears to be Overhaul as a child. And apparently they edited to strip away the ability to reverse effects and just completely create a more quirk solely for destruction. And it was the quirk that he granted Shigaraki as which you see his shocked reaction as he starts scratching his neck like he normally does. With Shigaraki realizing what his stuff, as All for One goes like, all the tragedy, all the ordeals, the rejection, the validation, all of it was granted by me. As Shigaraki starts to crumble away, thinking about all the things that has happened in his past, saying that, all that you are, as All for One speaks. You speak of your unwavering heart? Nonsense, for shame. With him saying, be gone from my body, as he goes like thinking about how his spirit isn't now his, he's deleted it, and revealing that he was saving this as a last resort, but that's no longer needed, as Midoriya shouts, All for One, cursing him, if you will, as we see a massive explosion on the battlefield. We see the camera as the last bits of finger disintegrates, as All for One shouts, Yochi's gone. As we then see All for One now in Shigaraki's body, saying his immediate goal has been foiled. Now, granted, he's just saying, well, granted, that's what he's trying to say, but at the moment, he's just going like, let's see, and realizes on that lingering, and thinking of some sort of lingering notice, but a hand starts to get emerged from his mouth as he tries to say, be silent. There appears to be, I think, one last trace of Shigaraki now disappearing, with All for One realizing that the spiritual damage has taken its toll on the body of this flesh, as well as the decay. As All for One realizes that Shigaraki's hatred is no more. And it looks like he's swiping off that quirk from the looks of things, with All for One asking, is Midoriya dead? As he talks about how the professor he spent years cultivating is now ruined. And let's see, and so it's like his plan to steal his brother back, that's also gone. As you see Midoriya calling out All for One again, with All for One saying now that all that remains is his hollow final goal of saying that is to say the world, pretty much world domination, if you will. With Midoriya trying to shout out saying, I won't let you, but he falls down as it's revealed that besides inside his memories in the real world, his arms have literally completely been blown off, and you just see him all bloody, and he seems to start to fade away. With All for One realizing that neither of them would emerge unscattered. As Midoriya starts to remember, like when he had his hand being grabbed back, and the warnings he had as his hand previously. But Midoriya is trying to crawl now, saying he's not done yet. Thinking that it's not yet, but with All for One now starting to say that loss endangers strength. That's a narrative trope I intend to establish. Saying that it's such a principled end for Midoriya for a child that had really nothing in the first place. As he seems about to attack Midoriya, Sarah arrives just in time, emerging from the smoke, using his take quirk to restrain All for One with Midoriya shocked that he's there, with All for One realizing that such a trivial, negligible person was enough that Midoriya's presence was an obscure warning, I think he says, or well, like Midoriya's presence obscured like this insignificant insect for him, I guess is best to describe it. With Cell calling out Midoriya's name, says, "Do you need some saving, pal?" As Midoriya also looks on to see that Sugar Man and Tail Man have also arrived and they're about to attack All for One Urtzi Shigaraki, with them using both a tornado tail dance and a sugar knuckle, seemingly sending them flying a bit, with them both panting after their attack. Midoriya is surprised that they are here and that they're still alive. And then someone calls out Midoriya's name. Turned out to be none other than Ayazawa, or let's see, their teacher saying, "Sorry for the delay." Coming out of what appeared with let's see, I'm trying to remember his name. Kurogiri's portal teleportation quirk, ending the chapter.
Yep.
Well, Mangareader, thoughts?
Yeah, this was a longer chapter than we've gotten in a while.
That is true to an extent, yes.
What do you mean to an extent? Is there one that was longer recently?
You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just over.
I don't remember how many pages. I mean, since I'm not reading it on Viz right now, this one might be available on Viz, right?
Yeah, it's available in Viz. I'm currently these 3 chapters we're reviewing are on Viz.
They're all on Viz. Okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe I'll go check out Viz on for that one. But even if it's not somehow the longest, it's feels like one of the longer ones that we've had recently. But I don't know. I might have actually kind of liked this chapter.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, a bit like. I mean, like might not necessarily mean like good like, but like in the sense that at least it's cohesive. It might be good. Like I don't know. Come on. Maybe I can't watch it or read it on Viz. Well, let me even click on. Oh, there we go. Oh, I don't want to join. Well, anyway. So yeah. Once again, All for One is just a damn kind of a killer of dreams. And I'm sure your concerns were somewhat amplified in this chapter.
Yeah, it's just like I think this is like another criticism that All for One is too much of a master manipulator, that he's behind everything. I think this is the part where I think it's gone too far.
It's probably true. But you know, the the Shonen Jump cover kind of foreshadow, or didn't just foreshadow, it kind of spoiled it before you even got to read the chapter. As they showed what Shigaraki looked like at that point, which is, assuming things are right, Shigaraki's still technically alive in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm just seeing the Shonen Jump cover thing. Yeah, it's you got like Midoriya versus the All for One Tomoe Shigaraki bit. It's a nice cover, I will admit.
Yeah.
Oops. But yeah, I think I'm wondering if this is the point. I'm not. Granted, I've seen some people react to this, but I think this might be the chapter that might have broken my hero for some people. Like this is the last straw.
Yeah, I could see that possibly because we are getting finally that team up that I was hoping for. So maybe everyone will join in on this battle. But I could understand why some people are like, well, now we have to fight one for all again. Or yeah,
Yeah, and in some it's because I don't know that there's
all
some
for
people.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, I can see probably. Well, granted, Lucky Chi isn't here, but I can probably. But I wouldn't be surprised if I think that these twists of All for One being behind everything that made up Tomo Shigaraki. I can probably see it's because Tomo Shigaraki's his boy. I can see these last two chapters arguably probably ruining the character growth and journey that Tomo Shigaraki had for Lucky Chi.
Could have killed something for him. I do know the thing that people were the one spoiler that I was reading before this chapter came out was like, okay, so how did he steal a quirk that didn't actually have like a quirk at the time? How do you steal someone's quirk factor? And now that might open up to the fact that did Deku actually have a quirk factor that was stolen? Did Deku have a hidden quirk? Is that going to somehow come into it?
Well, from what I can tell, let's see. Because the way All for One is talking about how insignificant Midoriya is, I think he was born quirkless.
Yeah, it's probably true. Or maybe he's just saying it because that's how he's described Midori all the time. Kind of like how he describes all the users of All for One.
Yeah, but I think it's just
One for all.
But I think the whole point of Tamura's flashback is because All for One specifically targeted him so he could cultivate him to be like his next vessel, pretty much.
Yeah, I could see that. Regardless, I mean, I'm sure some people will still be thinking, well, maybe Deku has a hidden quirk somewhere.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think those people should just drop.
Should just give up. Forget it. This is yeah.
It is not going to happen. The whole point of the premise of Midoriya is that he was a quirkless.
Was that he was quirkless? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably still the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the reason why he was able to use One for All at its peak, unlike everyone else.
Yeah.
But there's still going to be people.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little. I guess it makes sense now, though, that Shigaraki's quirk is kind of a butchered version of Overhaul's. They kind of hinted at that when it was first. When they first met.
Yeah, though granted, it feels a bit weird because I think this is the first time I can recall in a series where Quirk has been genetically altered a bit.
Altered.
I mean,
well, okay. I don't know. Aren't the Nomu technical? Well, I don't know. Maybe that's just adding quirks to people that didn't have them.
Yeah, I think the Nomu have been added multiple quirks. I know there are certain quirks that combine to form new ones, but I think this is like the first.
Like the first altered one. That might be true.
Yeah, and also parts of a quirk's abilities being separated.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, okay, so All for One had another child villain, one of the main villain child as an orphan. So,
yeah.
It's like,
oh, good. Just what we needed.
But yeah, like I said, my concerns from the last chat, from the last bit of the review, about all of Shigaraki's choices have been robbed. Yeah, I can. They seem to have happened.
Yeah, they're kind of robbed now. Yeah, From a, oh man, this is kind of interesting situation. I guess that's kind of the case for me, but from your situation, I could understand why
Yeah.
you might not be a big fan of this.
Yeah, and in some ways, I can see it's been well done with like the explanation of how he's planned this out. But at the same time, it's like let's see, it's like I don't know. I kind of feel like you should have get Shigaraki should at least had some of the choices. But it's like
Right.
what? No, like I've just been manipulated all along. And that means that it's I'm just getting. He has every reason to turn on All for One now because the way I've imagined My Hero ending is that All for One possesses Shigaraki. He's going to try and destroy Midoriya, but after probably maybe something that Midoriya did with Shigaraki, he sacrifices himself Darth Vader style and helps gives Midoriya the chance to destroy All for One, ending the conflict at last.
I suppose that could still technically happen, but
Yeah,
it does get a lot tougher.
yeah.
It does get a lot tougher.
Yeah, especially because at the moment it looks like Shigaraki's entire conscience has been completely destroyed, but who knows? That could just be All for One. That
Well,
could
the
just
screaming kind of makes it out to be that he's still alive
yeah,
somewhere in there.
yeah. I pretty much expect that to be the case.
Suddenly, I can't even get that. What the hell? What the hell? Oh, there it is, Vita. I'm like, what the fuck, Vita? Or not. I leave the site once and it just doesn't load the pages. I go to freaking Viz once and it doesn't load the pages. Ah, that's great. So I'm losing like the ability to even read this stuff right now. That sucks. So yeah, I guess the part that I do like though again is that they're now going to bring in just about whoever they can that can still fight.
Yeah, and this is why I've said, and with the way Aizawa shows up, it's Endgame style. But granted, it does kind of noise because it's like, okay, let's see, he took out let's see Kurogiri off screen, or we're only going to see a little bit of it in a flashback, not an actual proper fight.
Right.
Granted, interesting choices that you probably got at least the three most generic and blandest characters amongst Class 1A coming to Midoriya's rescue. Which is, at least I assume that's everyone's thinking of, like with those three characters. Okay, to be fair, Sarah's had moments here or there, but it's like the other two are like the most forgettable in like Class 1A. But yeah. But I suppose I do like how All for One, after emerging from like Ritzy is in his new body, is just contemplating like the damage it sustained from what Midori and Shigaraki did, as well as the fact that realizing that his goal is now no longer achievable of acquiring his brother, his quirk or his soul, if you will. So it's just
Yeah.
now like, okay, and his vessel has been less than stellar. So it's like all he has now is left is to take over the world.
Well, now I get my hollow victory.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm gonna win, but it's not the victory I want.
Yeah. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. My bad. I didn't get what I wanted.
So now I'm just gonna do what I was just planning to do at the end of it all.
Yeah. Time to go take out some.
Heroes.
Yeah. Time to world dominate.
Yeah. I do like how that the whole ordeal also had some consequences for Midoriya as we finally see his arms have been completely crushed and damaged or torn after all the warnings about what he would do with his fists.
Yeah, they're deteriorated like what happened in his subconscious. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that.
I do like how, despite all, he's still willing to
Well, yeah,
fight.
he's still going to keep trying to fight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just hang on a sec, Mangareader. I just need to quickly do something quickly, and I'll be back in a minute. So just give more of your thoughts for the time being.
I mean, my only thoughts were going to be what my discussion was going to be, or my plans, or whatever. I can't even talk right now. I was going to just give my rating on it, but that's cool. I'll be here discussing some things, I guess. I don't know. Come on, phone, don't do this to me. My Hero Academia. So, I don't know. I mean, we've got I can understand what Blue's talking about for why this may or may not be great, but I kind of think it's okay. It's not. It keeps with itself, but
Okay,
at the
I'm
same
back.
time.
Sorry, but
Oh,
yeah,
hey.
sorry about that. But yeah, I suppose we can now do overall scores.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm just rambling at this point.
Okay.
I cannot get this thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to reboot then. Damn, man, this sucks. So yeah, my score probably would still remain somewhat the same, 7.5, 8, and that maybe I'm being too generous with it, but I can understand where if anyone had lower expectation, or well, maybe not expectations, but lower scores to grade it.
Let's see. For me, I think in terms of positive, I think the highest I could probably give is a 7. In
Okay.
terms and like negative, I could at lowest I would probably give is maybe like a 4.
Wow, that's really low.
Yeah.
I know you hate. I know you hate it, but damn, that's real low.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like yeah, I'm wavering between those two. I guess maybe long term to see how it all plays out and executed will determine. Let's see what I overall decide. Now, granted, like I said, there's on one hand, there's some the artwork is pretty good, and there's some well played explanations of how things came out to be. Of like Itzy, all for one, being like the sort of whisper in Shigaraki's father to say, have another kid. Hey, you should. This is how you should parenting, and like, hey kids, tell your friend to be inspired. Okay, this is my chance to steal this quirk. This is my chance to give him this quirk. All that. You can see how it kind of makes sense, even if it's like the fact that All for One is planning all the stuff behind the scenes is kind of convoluted. And and he even has his own reflection of like, and even like the stuff of reflecting about how his goals have now been tarnished because his vessel's been badly damaged and his brother's now permanently gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that bit's there, and okay, you've got like let's see some of the members of Class 1A coming in. It's the Endgame style, if you will, with Ayazara, but it's also like does that mean we're not going to see the Kurogiri fight? So or at least, but yeah. So yeah. So that's that. It's like there's some things going for this chapter that could lead it into the 7 out of 10 stuff. But at the same time, there's like all the negative stuff that I potentially for this chapter, like Tomo Shigaraki's character being robbed of of his the sort of all the development and growth that's been put in. Heck, I think some might even feel like this is a bit of a contradiction and retcon or some last change for Overone, since the first saga was all about him trying to grow and cultivate Shigaraki to become the next Demon King, if you will. I mean, arguably, yeah, some would say, oh, him being possessed, him starting to possess and stuff, already contradicted that, but I don't know. I think this is just more of like double down on all the things that some people didn't like with in the Paramount Liberation War.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, so there's some things like that. So yeah, so I can really see me Bitsy between 7 and 4, really. Though maybe I might put in the middle of say 5.5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah,
I like I said, I could understand where you're coming from on that.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, I'm not on one hand, I'm not seething hatred of what happened with at the end of Naruto with the Kaguya. Well, granted, okay, the Kaguya twist, I sort of accepted it first, but over time I came to hate it. So it might end up being a similar case with this here, but it's not something I'm raging about, but I can probably understand some word. Like how I did with chapters 699 and 700. But yeah. But I don't know. It really depends on, I guess, how this final fight goes. But at the moment, I'm not convinced that it's off to the best start.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
So, yeah. Anyway, I think it's time we did the 420.
The final. Yeah, 420.
Yeah, which is
on 423.
Yeah. From Iozara, but yeah. Now, regardless of what happens, at some point we gotta hear what Lucky Chi thinks of all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll keep in touch.
I think he's about to get back to streaming, and I think he's going to do a One Piece catch-up one if he already hasn't done it. But yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, let's enough of Lucky Chi for now. For now, we'll go on from where 420 starts with its title saying "From Aizawa," where we see him and Present Mike. Jumping into that portal and then dealing with Kurogiri with I think President Mike shouting, telling Kurogiri to wake up, asking where they are. So with him going our comms are dead, so we don't know any the current status of the war. With President Mike, I think remembering Kurogiri saying how he's the protector of Tomo Shigaraki. With him getting annoyed that he's saying with President Mike being annoyed that Kurogiri took a really good, really great time in sarcastic way, saying to malfunction, saying that you show some life, you scum. As I think with the thought bottle saying, if you ain't Shirakuma anymore, then do us a favor and fade away, then leave us the memories. with I think President Mike just shouting how they should have finished them off when we had the chance, and saying that relying on a corpse like him to save them all was a bad idea as he starts crying. But this is where Aizawa now grabs President Mike's arms with him saying, I see tears. But President Mike is trying to deny this, saying that he's a manly man. But he's saying, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Kurogiri. But President Mike is not convinced. Thinks it's just probably just the rain around them and the fact that no moves. It's since it's he's a Nomu and it's the ones that took him off the playing field, since you kind of mess with, and that is just taking you off the field because you were messing with Tomo Shigaraki. With him going on about how priorities to switch it back on so they can get back to the fight, and once all that's done, he's going to go to town on this tool till it stays down for good. With him telling Azar that they just pretty much drew a darkened dud here in terms of spores of war, and telling them to forget about the little miracle that they had back at Tartarus, saying that they're both 31 years old now, and they're not UA students anymore. With Azar saying, well, that is true. He was also a UA student when he died. And you see, let's see, Present Mike just looking on as he's holding Kurogiri down. As he's, I think, remembering of when Kurogiri said that, oh, he's a protector of Tomura. And then Azar goes like, why not tear us to pieces with the warp gates or drop us to our deaths? As I think you see Present Mike trying to resist the urge to cry. And then we start to see the eyelid was inside Kurogiri saying, who, where, she, friend? With Azar talking about how the day when we reached in Tartarus to draw a little bit of light, blended with his darkness and shut him down, saying no, a light can never reverse the dark. But thinks that the darkness works differently, and that's why it activated him again. So he says like this. With Azar telling President Mike, I'm not sure if he knows this, but since he's telling Kurogiri this, I think, saying that how they're educators in the hero course, saying it's their job to make the students reach graduation. And him saying, and if that's where his origin lies, let's see, we get a little flashback of like the three of them as students together, and then we see Kurogiri's face starting to shade up. I think I'm trying to describe this quickly. Hold on. Well, we see all the sort of WAP stuff wrap around Kurogiri with Kurogiri then shouting out Present Mike's actual name, with him going like, those memories ain't ever going to fade. And it looks like Kurogiri is now, reverted back to who he used to be, if you will. Or at least some part of it has.
Yep.
With then now we're able to contact Tushiachi, with him going like, Eraser, you're still with us? Where have you been? With him then asking if Momonoma is still fit to fight, but he's giving him the update saying that no, he got carted off for urgent treatment after a nasty blow to the head. So we now know what his injury was.
Oof.
Then Azar asking for update on each of the battlefields and all those that are available to help evacuate people. But Tushikachu is curious as to why that is, with him saying, but then we cut to like UA's shelter room where Izar is now, where all the spectators that were watching Midoriya's fight with like Ectoplasma and some of the other heroes. With the Ectoplasma teacher, the one that clones himself, going about how wondering how he got here. With Azar revealing that he managed to make use of Kurogiri, and that he and Mike are currently on standby on outside grounds, telling everyone to gather up the heroes assigned to this evacuation protection mission, leaving behind only the ones best suited to the fence. With which the teacher being surprised about this, since he thought like I think Ectoplasma or like the multiplier one. Surprised at this, since he didn't think that he could be won over. But Aizawa says there's no telling, at the very least, how long their hold on him will last. So giving an indication that this might not be permanent. On a sec.
Mm-hmm.
As we see a bunch of citizens murmuring and chattering, with let's see, Death Arms, if I recall what his name is. You know, the one that was in the first chapter, but then sort of quit. Thinking like, well, if you're offering a quick trip to the front line, saying that, take him in. And then we get this young person saying, same here, I'm kind of a nobody, but I'm still a hero. Let me fight too. And it's none other than the protagonist from the first work that I think Koei ever did. Bulge, I think it was. Okay, you know the other hero that's volunteering to join the battlefield. His design is based off of the protagonist from Koei's first work. You know that Prince and the
Yeah,
Bulge?
I'm lost on that one. I don't remember the name either.
Hold on. My Hero Academia. See how it. Oh yeah, Barrage. Let me just share screen quickly. This manga series here. This character here.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. He's gotten a cameo in the My Hero Academia manga.
Well, you know, authors are always going to do that somehow. They're going to try to find a way. Yeah.
Let's see. I think Hiro Mashima is kind of notorious for it.
Just throwing random junk in his manga. Yeah.
Yeah, and cameos of like previous characters in his work.
Yeah.
I can say I've seen Natsu and Lucy a few times on Eden Zero. So you've pretty much got that. And then hold on, I'm just gonna stop sharing now.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So pretty much let's see, with Azar telling all his heroes to come to the main entrance, and then you see the boy with the teen or guy with like the All Might shirt saying that taking off his shirt to give to Azar and saying, use this to help any hero who's hurt, which Azar takes and then notices that a bunch of other people are now taking some of their clothes and supplies out to help. And let's see, with him thanking them and saying how most of the battles are already won. We'll reach out to anyone that's on their feet and able to fight. They talks about how things are still up in air at the National Tokaba Arena, though, saying that this escaped prisoner there is a notorious criminal known for a wide range devastation battles of aversion. And this guy is called Gashly Juju, and that's where we see where Sarah, Sugarman, and I think number 13 have been battling, and that's where they've been out for this entire time, seemingly battling some sort of like little monster things, from what I can tell. I don't know. I don't really understand the reference, but it's just a last minute added villain that's to explain who these guys have been fighting.
Right. They were just fighting whoever was left.
Yeah. And then we cut to like a bunch of characters from Class 1B, we'd see arriving with other heroes saying that they're here to help. And arguably they probably do. With Arazar then cutting back to saying then they're still divide and conquer phase 3 out of like the plan he came up with earlier to begin this war, as we see more of Kurogiri's portals teleporting out. With All For One just going, so have you all come to have your quirks stolen? With Midoriya realizing that it's his own sensei, but Arazar tells Midoriya to keep still, asking how long he's been since he lost his arms, but Midoriya says he can't tell because of the time he spent in the subconscious space. With Midoriya thinking about how Shigaraki had taken over All for One. No, actually, I think that might be Aizawa thinking, or maybe it's Midoriya thinking.
No, it's Midoriya.
Okay, my mistake. I must be getting a bit tired now. Hold on.
Well, you're taking so long to the point where we're practically, with one last chapter, we're about the same time as it took yesterday.
But pretty much talking about how they tried to do that trap to trap Shigaraki and prevent All for One from coming to him and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But let's see. But I'm wondering, like, okay, if he managed to break Shigaraki's spirit, that should be the end of it. But somehow All for One came back, and this is where Aizawa reveals that he's got the bit of horn that Eri has, and is giving it to Midoriya. With when we cut to a flashback of Eri just calling out Aizawa, saying that surprising Aizawa when she says the teachers don't want to take me to the scary battle. I know why, but I can't go. But asking that she gives her that the horn that she's just pulled off, asks Aizawa to give it to Deco. With surprising Aizawa on how she could do that, which she said she asked and got some help. With him asking Ectoplasm, okay, so that's his actual name. I've been just wasn't really sure at the time, but I should have just searched up. But he was just like going like mad at Ectoplasm, but he says like he does apologize, but they're saying that the girl has learned much about rational and irrational actions from Aizawa. With Eri going like how all you teachers helped him to learn his power, and now he wants to use this piece to help people. But Aizawa is like thinking that this is a rough way to go about it, and he might have just permanently damaged her quirk for good. But she declares that she wanted to help All Might Karchan like this, but he couldn't, and also that she wants to sing, thinking of Jiro in her performance. Going on about how Deku and the others are like fighting. So she's saying that once that they've managed to end this war and win the battle, she wants to sing for them. And realize that if she can't help a lot, but wants this horn to be that symbol of her fighting, if you will. With hold on a second, I just need to just refill my cup. Sorry, I've been drinking. Sorry, I've just been just got to. Oh, Mangareader appears to have disappeared. I don't know how long he's been gone. And you're back, Mangareader. How long were you?
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of booted me there for a second. I don't know what the heck happened.
Okay, so back to where I was summarizing. Yeah. Let's see, with Aizawa thinking about how all that accumulated energy is lacking to nearly useless extent, saying that any target will be rewound slowly, but not by a great amount of time.
Pretty sure that's Ectoplasma telling.
Saying that. This it only has very much limited time, and he's estimating that it's 2 or 3 minutes. Let's see. So, since Midoriya seems to have lost his limbs for that long ago, Ares' quirk is able to activate and restore his arms. With Aizawa telling Midoriya he can't die since he needs to hear Ares sing. With him saying that they're all feeling the same way as well, as we start to see heroes start to pop out, and then saying like saying, yeah, we might be down for the count, but then we heard about Midoriya busting up his butt out here. As we start to see more members from Class 1A pop out, like Mineta, Yamamomo or Creati,
Yeah.
Denki, Soji, Anima, and they're just continue saying, so we got our own butts in gear, coming out in Portal's Avengers Endgame style, as All for One looks on, ending the chapter.
Yeah. Gee,
Okay.
what took you so long with this one? Damn, man.
Sorry, I didn't see.
So I don't know what the Viz translation kept this, but there's this interesting tidbit on one of the fan site related translations
Okay.
for that Midoriya. What I'm reading says, when fighting All for One at the Flying, he kept bragging about how he suppressed Shigaraki and completed the fusion, but that's not what happened. I've no doubt All for One was absorbed and stopped existing. When it hit Tenko's core, he should have vanished too. So who is this guy? So it might not even be All for One if that's translated properly.
Okay, if that is the case, then we're dealing with an entirely new villain.
Yeah.
Which I'm still wondering if that. Okay, is this another Kaguya situation?
Maybe. Then we got a different all-time reality of, oh my gosh, what is happening?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like
yes.
maybe it's just a combination of their personalities.
Probably.
I don't know.
That was the original intention, I think.
Well, I think the original intention was just for All for One to essentially have Shigaraki's body and maybe his willpower, and then just have all the quirks and all that nonsense, and be young and have vision and all that. But who knows? If this is translated properly, then it's interesting to think what the heck this guy truly is.
Mm-hmm.
But as for the chapter itself, I mean, yeah, I mean, at least it's setting up pretty well for what I hope to be the finale of sorts. Not that the next chapter is going to be the finale, just saying
The final fight, pretty much.
that. I mean, it's pretty cool that they got the crowd involved again. It's interesting. I mean, I don't know. The Kirigiri thing, you could argue, might be a plot device, but
Yeah, I think I've seen some people saying like, yeah, this is the plot device to Ritzy just get rid of the consequences of Midoriya's broken arms, which they ended up being correct. Which I think is why you've gotten quite a few people saying that Ritzy, when the Midoriya have lost his arm, saying, it won't matter in the long run anyway. Eri-chan is just going to probably just heal him again. Or something like that. Which turned out to be immediately after the chapter he lost his arms. I will admit, it did surprise me at the very least that she did take off her horn, and apparently that this may have just permanently damaged her quirk, but to be fair, I think she's fine with that because she just wants to help everyone. And also because, she'd actually just want to sing to Midoriya and the others.
yeah.
Well, she was just that fond of them all. Which makes me think now that her end game is going to be a pop singer.
Maybe.
So yeah, if we get like a fast forward into the future sort of epilogue, we might see her as something like that.
She was just a child, so she was impressed. She got impressionable by the first actual thing that she was able to do outside of Overhaul's watchful eye. So that being the festival.
Mm-hmm. That is
so she was impressionable by Jiro. So I think we all kind of came to the conclusion that our Deku wasn't really going to be armless. At least not yet.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Maybe after this he could theoretically once again lose his arms, but it was way too soon to worry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's not going to really be the case.
Maybe not, but it's just there as a possibility. If this was if this was the foreshadowing that his arms were going to be lost to him, then it might not have been all that big of a deal. But regardless, yeah, your Aerie was going to somehow play some role in this. Now, albeit because they've established that she can't really, she has to collect energy. There's good possibility that a lot of repercussions aren't going to be fixed immediately, or for that matter, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he draws her adorable. The
Well,
one little chibi version is hilariously adorable.
I think that's by. I think he pretty much did that by design.
I know. So essentially, now Deku has to wait 2 to 3 minutes before he can get back in the fight. So curious to see what happens in this in that time frame.
Well, from the looks of it, you're getting a bunch of Class 1A ITZY students and a bunch of ITZY random heroes, all probably trying to keep All For One at bay. Now, granted,
Right.
I guess they're going to get brushed aside or quite stolen, depending on how, I guess, All For One takes it.
That's what I was coming to the conclusion. I'm curious to see who has their quirks taken and whatnot. Is it going to be anyone important? Is it going to be no one? Is it going to be like side characters that didn't really pay much attention to?
Yeah. Is anyone going to actually die? But who knows?
Yeah. That's on standby too. That could potentially happen. But I'm curious. It also apparently there was a break, so I don't know if we
There'll be a chapter this week.
there's this week. So last week was when there wasn't one.
Yeah, that was the hiatus.
Gotcha. So I don't really have much else to, quite frankly, add to that, to my knowledge. So it's up to you on that.
Let's talk to bits about the beginning where we see Kurogiri, President Mike, and Arizara. I do like how President Mike is really just expressing his frustration at what the state of his friend is right now, and he's determined, and he thinks that it's probably just too late for him. I will admit, it's a little disappointing to learn that the moment that he teleported them away, he just was not really moving a bit and just like became immobile. So it's like no actual proper fight. But it seems like it seems like Corey is just having them not fight here so they could fight All For One later. And like bring everyone else back. But I do like how when Aizawa was able to deduce that their old friend is coming back inside of Kurogiri, but even if it might only be temporary, so it immediately forms a plan, like saying going to like all the different schools, saying gather everyone and then gather everyone that can fight, and help and also send heroes to the remaining battlefields to take out the villains so they can come back later. I will admit, I really do wish that this villain called Gashly E.G. Jew actually was introduced sooner and we actually got to see a little of what he can do, because I have no idea who he is and why we should be intimidated by him. Other than the fact
There's a lot of villains that were kind of shown.
Yeah.
Gashly the baby tree. Who knows? But anyway, it looks like it's just a bunch of crap coming from the ground. Kind of like the guy that was the flower that was fighting against Ioma and
Yeah. On one hand, I will admit, I've always said that one strength of My Hero Academia is that you can have as many villains as you want because you're in like a world of heroes and villains. But on the one hand, it's like they do appear out of nowhere randomly.
yeah, that's pretty true.
So there's that bit against it. But I do like how after Azar comes in, you've got a bunch of the civilians, including the let's see, All Might shirt guy that didn't want Deku coming back, willing to offer any supplies they can to like help end the fight, and even I think you've got like Power Loader or something, willing to come back in the fight. That little cameo of Bulge, I thought that was
Yep.
a little nice.
Well, it's pretty cool that Deku's inspiring people. Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, there's props to that as well. I don't.
I guess the other standout is that this is somehow still all within plan of how they planned. It's like they predict that was kind of crazy to think that they outplanned the planner.
That is true. It's like okay, this feels like a bit of a stretch that you managed to plan all this just to be
Right.
this well. Unless he's just more like saying like, yeah, so there's finally a situation to enact a plan I've thought about for years.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say years, but in the last 2 days that they had planned before they were going to do this attack. Yeah, this is all occurring in like less than a day when you think about it.
Okay, hold on, I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, this plan that they made was literally the 2 days before they went on this attack for the.
Yeah, I know that, but let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember what I was saying before. What was I saying before?
I don't know.
Hold on. Oh yeah, something about
Unless you were talking about All for One's plan, which was years in the making, I guess.
I think I might have just been doing. I think I might have been something like that. No, I know. It's now I remember. It's like oh yeah, so like it's like on about like oh yeah, let's see. I think it was in response to like how I've managed to like plan for like everything to happen as it is. It's like even though things could have gone horribly wrong, which they kind of nearly did at the beginning when Toga just kidnapped Midoriya from his battlefield because she wanted Midoriya to be her boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
So there was that.
It's funny.
Let's see. Midoriya, I feel like he got his arms a bit back too fast, but I can see why they brought it. But there seems to be at least a time limit to coming to when he might be able to fully fight again.
Yeah.
Now, as for the choice of Class 1A heroes, I assume more of them going back, but okay, Denki and Yamamomo, I mean, they have pretty much just been, for the most part, just supporting like the Flying UA building from like when Bakugo's group was fighting Tomura Shigaraki / All for One. Mineta, I forgot on which battlefield he's on, but he seems to be getting like an eye patch now.
Mineta was with Hawks in them.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was confronting the old one for All for One.
Okay, so he's back for a rematch.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you've got pretty much the two let's see heroes with dealt with like Spinner also coming back. So it seems like regardless if they fought before or not, they seem to be coming back. Though granted, it makes me wonder who else is going to come back. I assume that Bakugo, Uraraka are too badly in critical condition to come to like this now final battle. Maybe
Nor would Todoroki. So yeah, all the bigger guys aren't going to be in there.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So pretty much, I think this is going to mostly be all the minor ones. Which makes
minor in the sense that the ones that aren't usually considered the more popular.
That is true. So we're probably not going to see them again, and this is going to just be all their remaining moments of trying to keep the bad guy at bay before Optimus can gain the. Oh, no, I mean Midoriya. I'm thinking Transformers now. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Keeping All For One at bay long enough for Midoriya to recover and finish the fight.
Right. The only one that might be able to come is Ida. I don't remember him being too heavily injured, but
Yeah, and I will admit, I talked a little bit about my frustrations earlier that Ida's not had really a moment to shine.
yeah, he only had just one thing where he was running halfway across the. That was about it. He was just getting Todoroki to the battle to stop the explosion.
Yeah. So if you have him come here, I can at least okay, you've got a chance to redeem that.
Well, action-wise, I mean, he hasn't fought, but he's done some support, so to speak. So yeah, he could do it maybe if he wasn't hurt from all that running.
Yeah. Actually, we'll have to see what his condition is right now, but we can see that nearly everyone here has been battered and bruised from all the fighting. Or just
really don't matter.
Yeah. So we'll see how it all goes. So yeah. Anyway, is there anything else left to talk about? What else? Let's see. I think I mentioned Kurogiri stuff. Yeah. I was getting all the civilians willing to help out. The Bitsy Barrage cameo. Talked about the villain that was there. The reinforcements that arrived. All For One, talking about stolen quirks. Midoriya just questioning Eri-chan, offering her horn and damaging herself. Yeah. And pretty much members of Class 1 arriving. Yeah, we've pretty much covered everything. So, Mangareader, in a score of 1 to 10, how would you rate this?
I'm still giving it an 8.
Okay, you're giving this an 8.
Yeah.
I think I'll give it a 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I think on one hand, I do like seeing a bunch of the Class 1A coming out to aid Midoriya. Some of the heroes and civilians that were giving up on heroes and all that stuff, willing to throw their support in and all that. Aizawa finally reaching through Kurogiri, even though I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another random villain that no one cares about, but it's just here. So it's like an off-screen battle, but there's stuff like that. But other than that, everything else I think is fine, even the art style. So yeah, I think it's run down to a 7.5. It's good. There's some bits that could have been better or better long term, but it is what it is. So yeah.
And he's got to rush it somehow, man. He's got to keep the main crap going, and all the side crap can just be on the side.
Fair enough. Or you have too much side stuff.
But
but overall, I think it was better than the last chapter at the very least.
Understandable.
Yeah. So anyway, with that said and done, for those who end up, Margarita, thank you for joining me to do these 2 streams of My Hero Academia. Sorry if I dragged a bit long with this. I probably should have double reread chapter 420 before we started.
Oh, you didn't even know? Oh, yeah. Great. Yeah.
But yeah, I probably should have done that. Otherwise, this might have made the summary a bit too longer. Will admit, I'm surprised it managed to last as long as our previous stream, though we did have a bit of discussion with the first chapter.
I mean, maybe I rambled on too long about 4 Life, but regardless.
Yeah. But yeah.
And about the same, one less chapter, but we get to talk more about.
Yeah, but yeah,
2 more chapters.
But I hope those who ended up listening to this stream enjoyed what we had to say, and we'll catch you all next time from My Hero Academia or some other stream I have planned. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber.
And I'm Mangareader.
And we are signing off. Goodbye, everyone. Plus Ultra.
Yeah, the Plus Ultra guys.